Right, we start with a view of the solar system from a long way away, with the crappy rendering of orbits that you get in this for some reason. That big thing on the outside is Sedna. There's probably a lot of others of those, but they are too far out in their orbits at the moment for anybody to be detected. I'm actually going to talk about the inner solar system, which is here. That massive tangle of orbits is the asteroids. There are actually thousands of them, but it just shows the larger ones here. There's also a few comets there. If you take those away, you will find that there are rather fewer and less confusing things going on. Those are cometary orbits, and those are now gone too. There you go, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and one Ceres, which is now classed as a dwarf planet, about 1,000 kilometres across, which is in the asteroid belt, because it's an asteroid. Right, first of all, Mars. Now, seeing as I've done a whole calendar on Mars, I'm not going to talk about Mars very much, because, you know what it is, you know what I said about it, you may do. Not a lot to say about it, really. It's pretty good candidate for life, possibly, although some people say it's too late and everything's dead. It, of course, doesn't have much of a magnetic field, which is significant. Has a larger southern polar cap than the northern polar cap because of its orbit being quite elliptical. Because it's close to the asteroid belt, it's captured two asteroids. One of these is called Phobos, which means fear. As you can see, it's quite small, about the size of the Isle of Wight, and quite close to Mars. It goes around Mars more than once a day. And the other one is Deimos, which is made largely of carbon and is similarly a captured asteroid, quite a small one, and is a little bit further out, but it's still pretty close. And both of these, strangely, were mentioned by Jonathan Swift in Gulliver's Travels, even though they hadn't been discovered and nobody understands how that happened. Right, now the next one in is quite familiar. That's the Earth. Now the Earth is unusual in a number of ways. First of all, it definitely has complex life on it, unlike any other planet in the solar system or any other body in the solar system. It's largely covered by liquid water. It has land sticking out above the water in some places, about 29% of the surface, and it has a powerful magnetic field. And there it is. It has ice caps at the poles, obviously. Now if you look a bit further out, you get the reason for the magnetic field, which is its anomalously large satellite, the Moon, which is probably why we're all here. So nobody can really tell whether that's unusual or not. There's the side that we normally see, but there's also the other side, which is oddly devoid of seas, of lava fields. And so, yeah, that's a bit strange, and I don't really know why that is, but there you go. And there's the Earth, and of course we've been to this object, despite what certain hoax people might say. And yeah, it's the Moon that's responsible for the magnetic field, and therefore without that huge Moon, there probably wouldn't be any land life, at least on the Earth. Next one along, Venus. Oddly similar to the Earth, and also oddly different. Probably the most nastiest of the lot. It does have a solid surface underneath, but I actually think of it as almost like a gas dwarf, as in the real surface is actually the clouds. Aphrodite Terra is one of the, I suppose you call them continents. There are others, but they're missing and not labelled in this map for some reason. Don't know what that's about. So there's Venus again. No satellites, no moons. And another one with no moons is the innermost planet, Mercury. Mercury looks so much like the Moon that if you were to show even an expert on the Moon and Mercury a photograph of its surface close up, apart from the lack of seas, there's just basically no way of telling the difference. It goes around once every 88 days. Now here's the Sun. Now the Sun is a yellow dwarf, but that's a misleading name because it's actually in the top 10% of stars. There it is from a distance. It's stable. It's got about 5 billion years to go. Now the inner solar system as a whole does have a few asteroids moving through it, such as Tutatis, and some others, Amor, Apollo, Eros, Geographos. Some of these have been visited by space probes. And there's the outer part of the inner solar system. Pallas, you can see there. Vesta, that's another one. Now going away from the solar system entirely, this is Alpha Centauri, around which a planet was recently discovered going around Alpha Centauri B, which is the smaller one. Now I'm just showing these really to compare the two star systems. Alpha Centauri is a binary star system. It's actually a ternary star system because there's a third one further out. We'll come to that in a minute. Vigil Centaurus B is the one in the top right hand corner, and that's the one around which the planet has been discovered. It's quite a small planet and very close. It goes around about every 3 days. So there's a solar system there, but at the moment not much is known about it. Proxima is the closest star to the Earth, and that's a red dwarf, and I've just shown you that. Right, now these are constellation markings. If you move across a bit, you will find that looking from Proxima Centauri, you get to Cassiopeia, the famous W in the sky, which is still visible from Proxima Centauri, and the Sun, which is just in the corner there,